Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
We're going to analyze the programming of the Legends Championship. You're probably like, wait a minute. Didn't the Legends already take place? No, the CrossFit Games took place back in September.
I have to say, I'm really excited that these groups, you know, the Pit Town and Legends and everyone is like taking control of what they're passionate about.
Yes.
But the name thing is killing me. I can't tell. Like it is. I'm in this space, dude, and I have a hard time figuring out. Like, can we just say that it's the games? Like it drives me crazy. That's
well, I think they do say it's the games. They're just like,
but they don't.
Sponsored by, powered by.
It's not even with those things though. It ends up being the long title of whatever, instead of it just being, oh yeah, it's the Masters. It's the Masters. It's CrossFit Masters Games. It's the games for the Masters. Go through all these things. It kills me. That's why that there are, even when I'd go to the website, and this is not on the Legends. I love the fact you guys stepped up the way you guys did.
Yes, bravo.
Like, you did a great thing for the Masters divisions. The division groups need the people that are putting on their competitions to be 100% passionate about the people that they're putting it on for.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That being said, I go to the website and I see 3 different competitions that are all the Legends, and the only way I can decipher is I got to go by the date that it is.
Yeah, true.
I'm like, wait, where's December? Where's the December 12th or the 13th one? Where is that one?
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Well, I'm excited to talk about this. Thanks, Soccer Mom. Good to see you. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. If you've done both, thank you. If not, do it. You can hit the all the above where you get a notification. If you guys want to take the extra step, you can join our membership. What you get out of that, you're just tighter in the ecosystem with us. And you're a Christmas present to us.
We'll take that.
Denise Moore.
Yeah,
Can't wait to hear what you have to say. I competed in the women's 65 plus division at Legends. Congratulations. I believe Corey was there as well. He's been looking forward to this.
Yeah. If you guys were in it, put your hand up and say, just put what division we're in. Just like so we can know.
Yeah, it's like an old AOL chat room. Age, sex, and location.
There you go.
Except for age, sex, and division.
That's right.
No, I guess age and sex kind of takes care of that.
Right.
You can tell us where you're listening in from. But thank you guys for being here. We will go through the programming. Before we get to the programming, we always look at one thing you said is like, this is about Legends when you're talking about dates and Merry Christmas, Augustus.
Yeah, Augustus, yeah.
All right. Yes, Merry Christmas to you too. Gerald Smith, 50 to 54. I'm going to assume your gender is male just by Gerald.
Hey,
and if not, then you
should not ever assume, dude.
My bad,
it's
lady.
Illegal. It's illegal to do that. Amy, wow, we have a lot. Denise Moore, look at that.
Denise Moore took third.
Stud.
Amy. Denise Moore took third place. Nice. Yeah. Oh, here, I like this. 24.
Right.
Male, Iowa. I don't know why I was reading it like it was a Monday Night Football. DeBrickshire Ferguson.
Dude, Joseph. Wow, we had so many.
50. Matt, I don't know.
Whoa.
I don't know if that was meant to be the way you put it, but
maybe that was an auto populate.
Hey, Merry Christmas! Thank you so much. Thanks, Howie.
Yeah, Howie.
And I hope your construction business is killing it. If that is what that is, I don't know. Oh, let's see.
More assumptions.
55 to 59 men.
That's my group. Joseph, how'd you do?
Yeah.
I had 2 athletes there. Tammy Saunders was in the women's 55 to 59 and Eric Miller in the 50 to 54.
Barbell Sin, the Legends Championship was held at Arizona State.
Yep.
Tempe, Arizona. I was not there, so I know we're not going out on the limb by talking about a competition we weren't at, which...
Because we've never done that before? Well, come on now, dude. We're looking at programming. We're not looking at...
I'm being facetious.
Well, that's to the spin, because that was his thing. Oh, were you guys there? No, dude, we weren't there.
No, he's also spinning off something else that we were talking about. I know. Hard left. Facetious is one of my favorite words.
Facetious?
Yeah.
Why is it your favorite word? I mean, it's a cool word.
I've always enjoyed it. I
It
like the
does
way it
roll
rolls
off
off
the tongue
the
kinda
tongue.
nice.
Yeah. Another, I think I've said this before, but when I used to game in college, I was a big Halo 2 guy in a Call of Duty. I got pretty good. The better I got at the games, the worse my grades got. So I had to I had to make some life changes early on. But my gamer tag was facetious.
Really?
Yes, except I try to get cute because I didn't just want to write the word facetious, but it
Right.
was FA capital C capital S HIZZ. So fussy shiz. And I was like, just a clever way to. It's a word that I like and it's unique, but just everybody called me fact shiz. Yeah, that was my old Halo Xbox gamer tag.
When you said the name like that, the only thing that popped in my head was, like, Ready Player One,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah. I think they're making a sequel to that. I
Really?
enjoyed that.
Dude, that book was amazing. The book was
Did you like
amazing, the
see the
movie
movie?
was super fun.
Okay, did you like the movie?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's interesting, it's hard when you have a book that you like that the movie is gonna be very
Yeah.
totally my nizzle, that it would be remotely close, but I thought they did a good job.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job.
I enjoyed it. Speaking of Fashizzle My Nizzle, did you see the new Dr. Dre Snoop Dogg song
No.
that they just came out with?
Mm-mm.
Oh, mwah! I'm now old man Chase. Like someone could argue I've been grumpy old man Chase for quite a long time. And I get like you start to understand your parents more as you get older. And my dad didn't really like my music choices as a high school kid, which was all just like hardcore death metal. But I grew up in the 90s, 80s and 90s. So like 90s for me is like, that's my generation. Anything that was created in the 90s, I think it's the best. It's like my parents' version of the 70s.
You love Weezer, it's cool.
No, I don't like.
I did that on purpose.
Do not like Weezer. Like Weezer and Yellow Card, that was 2000. That was not me. But I mean, anything 90s. I think any category in the 90s, I considered the best. I think it's the best year of country. I think it's the best generation of rap music. I think it's the best generation of sports. But that was my developmental. Like the 90s made me basically who I am today in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
90s rap to my grave is the best. Maybe a little early 2000s. Rap these days, I wouldn't even almost consider it rap. It is just like the mumble rap.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I can't. Some of it's okay, but the majority of it.
Oh, yeah, the basic, I get it.
All the old 90s rappers like already shit on it anyways.
I know. I think that's great.
Yeah. But Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg just came out with a new song, and it is just old school, great beat, flowing lyrics. I'd find it and play it, but we just get a copyright strike. So, I don't know why. I don't went there.
I'll check it out.
Oh, speaking of the 90s, a little thing about Legends is that all of their event names were named after movies or movie quotes from the 80s and 90s. So the game I'm going to play with you as we go through the programming, Bill,
God, don't do that.
is you're going to have to
fucking do
tell me,
Shit.
Mr. Pop Culture Not, you're going to have to tell me what movie the lines came from. Yeah, Howie, you're right. 80s and 90s sitcom, like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I don't know what other one. That was the one we watched.
Family Ties.
Family Ties. Well, I don't want to go.
Full House.
The Cosby Show. Before we found out what was actually going on. It didn't show the product on the screen. Maybe just what happened behind the scenes. Love the Cosby Show. Tool Time.
Tool Time.
Oh. This is actually on brand. We're talking about a Masters competition, and now we're just taking a trip down memory lane. All right, let's get into it. What's the name of the song? Ooh, let me. All right, I'm gonna search this up. New Dr. Dre Snoop Dogg song. Let's see. Now or never. Maybe I can play like 7 seconds of it. Did you hear that?
No.
Well, not now. You hear that?
No.
Hear that?
No.
Okay, hold on. Okay, do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm gonna get in trouble. How do you hear it?
Same song, smoking till the pain gone. Somehow a nigga made it through the rain.
Oh, I probably should not have played that. I don't think that's the song. No, what is it? I don't know. I'll find it. If somebody else finds it, just let me know. Okay, but it's great. Go listen to it. Back to back to this. So, Legends Championship. This is the off-season Legends Championship finale. Outside of what the CrossFit Games were, this is CrossFit Legends, who have been doing this for quite some time. You've been on their broadcast multiple times. I think some questions came in here. Yeah, man. I didn't say it. Snoop said it, okay?
Right.
Was did you see that Shane Gillis clip I sent you?
As a group? Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really funny joke. But so it's like, oh,
This right here, this competition is what got Legends to do the game.
Yes, Bob and Joe, what they've done for the Masters community is unparalleled. There's a Masters Fitness Collective. Those two combined do a huge service for the Masters community. I think any Masters athlete should be kissing their feet for what opportunities they presented. And it's not about prize money, sponsors, or fame. The fact that anyone over the age of 25 gets an avenue to continue competing should just be thankful that you have the opportunity, because there is no other sport in the world that allows that to happen. Rarely do anyone make high school sports teams. A smaller fraction of a percentage of that compete collegiately, and then a smaller fraction of that get to continue post-college. And that's when you're 22 to 23 years old. So if you even have an opportunity to compete at an official event, you guys should just be more thankful you have the opportunity. That's my stance on Masters athletes. I think they get a lot too full of themselves sometimes. I think they deserve certain things. It's like the fact that this is even a thing.
Look, I'm deep into the Masters division. Yes. I have Masters athletes that I coach. I broadcast for the Masters. I am one of them. I agree with what you're saying, that in all other realms, all you're doing is turkey trot runs and half marathons. Right. Like, if this is a chance that this is where you get the opportunity to go, and I have a hard time. Actually, I have a hard time when any athlete thinks that they are way more than what they really are. I mean, right. I'm talking I'm talking high-end CrossFit athletes. I'm talking NFL football players. Like you aren't a magical person because you are good at this particular sport. This is an avenue that you get to express your fitness. It gives you something to train for. It gives you, for a lot of these athletes, it gives them some sort of a purpose and a direction, and that's cool. But realize that it's that. Like, it isn't that the sport should be bending to you. You picked this sport out, so you went to it, not the other way around. Now, granted, I don't think that the sports need to be ridiculous to their people that are, that are in there joining them and stuff. But it's like, I don't. There ends up being a lot of complaining, or we deserve this, and I don't really know about that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's just a great appreciation of the opportunities that are presented.
Totally.
I feel like sometimes Joe and Bob get hounded unnecessarily, arguably unfairly at times, because people want it to be a certain way. And it's like, listen, this is, be thankful for what you got.
Right.
Be thankful for what you got. Before we get to the first event, I did want to share what we got on the docket this week. We are, obviously, it being a Wednesday, we are a week out from Christmas, which is insane.
Dude, don't even.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, I'm in heavy stress mode right now.
Friday, we are bringing back Peace Scoring the CrossFit Games, focusing on the 2008. And I got to say, Bill, I was excited about this series. I might be the only one aside from Tyler. But I know 2008 was one of those years that I definitely wanted to see just because the way it was scored. And Tyler sent me the men, and it does not disappoint.
I would be most interested on this one just because of how it was and what it was. So yeah, I can't wait to see the shuffle on it. I can't wait.
I won't even ruin it.
Don't.
It does not disappoint. In fact, it was better than I could have ever imagined. And I only saw the men. So we are going to Peace Score the 2008 CrossFit Games. Yeah, it's not for everybody. But since that games was 4 events and was all for time, and they were all within a sub 5-minute window, 3 to 5 minutes every event, one stimulus, one thing only, not too much variance to the test.
Right.
Arguably one of the worst CrossFit Games of all time.
No, the worst.
Okay.
The worst.
The worst. Yes. But to put Peace Score to it, right? It's like, what is 30 seconds really worth in an event that only lasts 4 minutes? What does that do to your finishing place? How many spots can you jump? It's great. So if you guys just want pure entertainment, please come on Friday. And if not, then that's okay.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Okay, Friday.
Friday. If you like and subscribe and get alerts, you will know. So you guys can do that, or you guys can join our membership. So that is the housekeeping. And Monday, this is not a clickbaity title. This is actually going to be a great topic of discussion. And this will probably be our last one of the year outside of, when are we doing Pedro's show?
That's the 23rd.
23rd? So same day.
Oh, shit. Really?
I got to figure that out.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe we can spread those out a little bit.
But the conversation is why, with the emergence of these new professional leagues, the WPF, yes? Look, is it always every time? Yes.
Every time. She just wants to be famous.
Yes. You finished your sucker. Okay, thank you.
Good information right there.
Yep. Dad, I breathed in today. I'm like, I hope you did. Anyway, with the emergence of the new WPF, this professional fitness league, and another one on the horizon, maybe with the PFAA, that's been rumored out there, the IF3, all of these, and off-season events, Rogue, Wadapalooza, Dubai, everyone's trying to professionalize the sport of fitness, right? I think it's actually the best thing that can happen for the CrossFit Games, because I don't think the CrossFit Games needs to professionalize the sport that they created. And so we're going to have a big conversation around that, which I'm super excited about, because I think it'll be a whole lot of good, maybe a whole lot of potential, a whole lot of people on either side of the fence. But that'll be our topic of discussion next week. And I'm very excited about it. I think it'll be a good chat.
It will be a good discussion.
Yeah.
And all of you guys that are here, make sure you bring your opinions about it, because whether and this is talking mostly as a fan of the sport. Yeah. That's where you guys are coming in, because whether you're masters athletes or we're talking like the open level, we're talking the elite level, and what you see with that. So what you think it'll do, what these things will do, won't do, how do they affect, will they affect, not affect, will it open up, more people, less people, whatever. So I think the discussion part is going to be pretty impressive, because it will really come down to what's the goal that everyone's trying to put together.
Right.
Like, whether it's the games or any of these other programs.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's like people like, oh, you're probably going to defend. I was like, no. I'm excited about what the future holds if we can do maybe some of these certain things. Mm-hmm. We said a lot is that I think the professionalization push of the games has maybe been the problem the whole time for the last 3 to 5 years.
I do. I think honestly, just without even getting into it, I think that word has become a buzzword in our space.
Yes.
It doesn't mean anything. And that's the problem. We got to professionalize the sport. We got to professionalize the athlete. We got to professionalize. And it's just vague now. It's like, it's just saying fitness
Right.
before you had a definition of fitness. Yeah. So
so that'll be coming up. So stick around for that. Bring your questions, your opinions, your pushback, your support, whatever it is. We will have a lot of fun. Okay, let's get into it. This is the finale of the Masters year. This is where everybody qualifies that weren't at the CrossFit Games. This is their secondary main event of the year, and they crown champions. Now, Bill.
Top Gun.
Okay. All right.
I was like, I saw that.
Nervous you're going to get the first one wrong. I feel the need for speed. Good job. Bill is 1 for 1 on movie quotes. Now, as we go through the programming, guys, we usually just look at the main programming, not the main programming, the base level program. We're not going to look at every version of the workout. So sorry, 65 pluses or 55 to whatever's. We're just going to talk about the grassroots of the baseline level or this would just be a 4-hour show that nobody would want to pay attention to. All right. 3-minute time cap, which I believe means 3-minute AMRAP, but anyways.
Yeah.
20 handstand push-ups, 15 hang snatches at 115 and 75, and then the time remaining, max cals on the rower. So this is a rare sprint event that gets programmed outside of, say, an elimination thing, right? Mm-hmm. Very low volume. I think the max somebody got was like 108 total reps because they added what you didn't get or what you did do beforehand. The weight is light. It's a chipper scheme, and it has monostructural, which is just the cardio, weightlifting with the barbell, and then gymnastics with the handstand push-ups. Right off the bat, this being, and I think this will be it's been a theme all year. I really like this. Just a smash and grab, go for it. I like the opposing movement patterns. I like the inverted handstand push-up, the hang power snatch, and then the row. I dig that. I like the intensity that is needed here. Everything needs to be unbroken. Maybe the first parts could have been a touch harder, but also thinking Masters, even though, you're looking at Scott Panchik do this, you're like, okay, you could have done
right.
Probably. He probably did, just to be faster. But your initial just this event on paper as it's written.
Same thing. I like what it is. I like the fact that at least by movement pieces, you have short guy movements into your tall guy movements.
Mm-hmm.
You have your range of motion, and then you have your length of motion where you're gonna benefit by having a longer pull.
Yep.
Being a bigger athlete. So I do like that. However, I do know that like that first half was short. I would have liked it to be more like 25 and 20.
Okay.
Like bump everything up just a touch, because I know that people were coming off and they were coming off and getting to the rower and having 2 minutes and like 10 seconds ish.
Even anything over 90 seconds.
Exactly. Because brutal. Then it all becomes the row. And that's why I think that if it would have been bumped up a little bit on the prior movements, mm-hmm. it would have bumped people more into where it gets a little bit closer to that, minute 45 or 90 seconds where it splits at half and half.
Yeah.
But as far as an all-out sprint, I do like it. I mean, you just got to go. Like it is, it's good. I like it.
I like what Denise says, and this is when this is the whole point, especially in Masters, which is challenging to do. But this is also inside the affiliate. Is that it was a really tough, and it was the same for all divisions. Everybody felt the same time frame. It was like that's what you want. Mm-hmm. But it's the program for the best, scale for the rest mentality. An idea and concept that no matter how you modify this per age group, everybody should be finishing around the same time, getting the same number of reps, feeling the same stimulus, right? It shouldn't be a totally different workout as you age up and as the programming changes. Bill, I added a new element.
Dun, dun, dun.
I added a 10 general physical skills checklist off this side, which we could debate one way or the other. This is more of just fun info. Right? We've got movement patterns on the right being used. Handstand push-ups is an inverted pressing in a vertical plane. Hang power snatch, hinge pull with that press to lock out. If it's italicized, that's mean that it wasn't a huge emphasis on that movement pattern to be successful in the movement, but it is a part of the movement nonetheless. And then rowing, that hinge pull leg fatigue in a horizontal plane. But over here, right, what type of general physical skills were, I would say, the majority players in this, right? And though, you have cardiovascular / respiratory endurance, people are like, oh, that's long effort. I'm like, no, if you're breathing hard and your heart rate is elevated, that is being activated at the moment. It doesn't have to be long, but where you add the stamina piece is that where the sprint fatigue comes in, right? Sure, the 5K is more cardiovascular respiratory endurance heavy and maybe not as much stamina because it isn't about necessarily muscle fatigue as you do it. It's more about just conditioning, right? The aerobic side of the movement. But when it's a sprint, both are present because as we know and we learned, I learned the hard way, was doing anaerobic work improves your aerobic capacity, whereas aerobic capacity exclusively takes away from your anaerobic ability. And so both are present in sprint formats. But I like this. I just wanted to add it in there.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Agility and coordination when you're talking the snatch.
Yes. I
mean, I'm looking at we have when I see
power.
balance. I can see that for the handstand push-ups. Okay.
Yes.
But I would still say the same. I mean, if it was a squat snatch, if it was a heavier squat, I could see more of a balance there too.
Yes.
But
And that's why I didn't put it in there because I was saying is like we could check all of these boxes.
Right. And that's the hard part.
But
Flexibility, same thing.
I wanted bigger picture as a box check, right? The main mover.
Okay.
So for example, like rowing is like, oh, but there's also knee and ankle extension in the row is like, and grip fatigue. I was like, no. Like, what are the main movers? And so that's what because I think at this lighter weight, speed and power is way more important on the snatch and the row for a shorter distance.
100%.
Than say balance but I put balance in there for like handstand push-ups because you're going fast.
Right.
Balance in a hang power snatch because you're going fast. You need to be able to keep your feet about you. But yes, those are all present in some form or fashion. But I was thinking majority.
Okay.
If that. But yes, this is an important discussion topic. At the tail end of that, we just put as we build the programming from event to event, what's present, how those things work with each other. We look at equipment, movement patterns, things of that nature. All right, Bill, question number 2. Roads. Where we're
Back to the future.
Roads. Yes, well done. AMRAP in 8 minutes. Swim as far as you can. Don't hate it.
I know that you are usually against AMRAPs. What I really liked, I think of all of the things you could do, this actually makes everyone do the same amount of work. And the reason I say that is because the better swimmer you are, the easier you're working.
Right.
And the worse swimmer you are, the harder you're working. So what they're doing is, even though you're going to have someone that's going to do a lot more distance, and that's going to be your time, that's going to be your score over someone else, you can have an athlete that's a good swimmer that comes out of this after 8 minutes and they're like, oh, that was a nice little cruise. And they win it. And everyone else was like, dude, that crushed me. And they had half the distance because of the efficiency that's involved in it.
Yes.
So I do think that the way that this was put together, rather than it just being, how long did it take you to swim 400 meters or 500 meters?
Right.
I think it was pretty impressive or pretty interesting.
Corey, you don't have to hate it. We did. I'm sure. If you don't like swimming, this is rough. If you do like swimming and you're efficient, then this is nice.
Yeah, totally.
But the format itself on a track or even on a rower, much different difficulty and intensity. But this format, I was like, hell, I've always wanted to see that. Well, I don't want to say I've wanted to see this, but something like this in the open, just to 7 minutes of burpees.
Yeah.
Where it's like 7 minutes max cals on the row. I'm just like, oh. Or max meters, so there's more separation.
Well, but even with that, like I don't even think that like in monostructural setup, it looks similar, but this one, there's so much efficiency that goes into it. It's not the same as burpees, and it's not the same as rowing even. I mean, you can have more efficiency,
Yeah.
but like rowing's going to be like, okay, what's your length and what's your power? You're going
Right.
to win.
Yeah.
Burpee, it's just, I mean, you can't really change your range of motion. You're supposed to go all the way down to all the way up, but I can be tall, I can be short, I could have good stroke,
Yep.
and I can be good, or I can have bad stroke and I'm going to be shitty. And so I like the fact that it's very, like, it ends up being a very technical event, way more than just a straight, we're thinking like just monostructural.
Yeah. So I don't mind that being thrown in there. They like to swim. They have a pool availability. I think it's a pretty
I was
common
glad that they
place
did
now.
also for that, with
Yeah,
all the
it's
stuff
great
that's
to
gone
see
on
them.
in the last year. I'm glad that they did that.
Oh yes. Bring the pool back.
Mm-hmm.
Cardiorespiratory endurance, stamina, coordination, being able to swim, that takes coordination. Yeah, you could say balance as you rotate in the water, but I just didn't put that in there.
Yeah.
And pretty basic, pretty straightforward. So a single modality test there, right? As the pie charts get filled in from event to event. Event number 3, say hello to my little friend.
Scarface.
All right, 3 for 3, Bill.
Dang.
You're better
Dang.
than you think. Better than you think. Maybe I watch more movies than I really do. All right, now this one, 3 rounds for time, is 30 wall ball shots. It's not necessarily 3 rounds. This is a chipper.
Right.
I don't know why I have single modality there. I wrote that wrong. 30 wall ball shots, 30 and 20 pound ball. I like it.
Me too.
I like it. Now, how high did we go? Probably 10 and 9. That's all right. 10 burpee box jump overs at 24 and 20, and then 50 heavy drag rope. Now, the drag rope movement would change per round, and the wall ball number would drop as well. So this is a chipper because things are changing. You don't really repeat other than the burpee box jump overs.
Right.
So the reps go 30, 25, 20 for the wall ball shots for 75 total. That's a good chunk at 30 and 20.
Yeah.
Burpee box jump overs stay at 10. The drag ropes went singles round 1, crossover singles round 2, and then double unders round 3. Time cap's 11 minutes. Most people were in the 7 to 8 minute range. So this is our short time frame. All right, that 5 to 10 minute time frame is considered short. Even if it's less than that, if it's not a dead sprint, we usually just keep it short. So you can have a 3-minute short workout, and it just depends on what movements were programmed. All right, like heavy deadlifts and handstand walks at ascending weight, like that's not a dead sprint. It's just a short workout. By itself, so far, for me, selfishly, these are things I enjoy doing, or at least I used to. What do you think about this?
I love the wall balls. I love the way that it goes and it moves itself down. So everyone's going to race out of the beginning because they know that it gets shorter. That just that kind of subconscious light at the end of the tunnel that they're really doing. Burpee box jump over is fine. Okay, everyone's going to do what they need to do on that. I'm fine with the heavy rope. I don't like when you're making people race and it just becomes execution type stuff.
Okay.
I don't mind the singles going into doubles, but the crossover thing, I mean, unless for the athletes, and you guys that did it can tell me, because I know that they didn't tell you right away. But a lot of people like having to deal with the crossover on that becomes like, well, we're not testing your fitness anymore. And granted, I mean, there was 50 of them, so it's like you can get hung up. But we've seen that before. I'm just not a fan of that. But as far as the general design of the event, I like.
Yeah, I would have been totally cool with it just being, say, 30, 15, 75, and then 25, 12, 50, 20, 9, 25.
Yeah,
or something
and
like, and
just keep it all double
unders.
Yeah, because then again, like you have the element of use of the rope, you have the fitness that you're testing out too, and it just fits. You're not going to get someone that's going to get hung up on a. I would be upset as an athlete, and granted, not that I want the event to be centered around me as an athlete, but like if I got hung up on the fact that it was a weird movement like that, that just seems stupid. Rather than like, okay, well, my fitness just didn't compare.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
would give him more of a pass if it was still 2022. I feel like
okay. I
everybody
got
should be
you.
able
I
to
got
do
you. I
that.
mean, we've seen it. I
I'm with
understand
you
that.
too.
I've seen it. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Um,
If you guys can't do that now, then and you're competing, like that should just be a weird skill you have in your pocket. Whether or not you like that you have to be good at that skill.
yeah.
But kind of like pirouettes.
Yeah.
It's like you should be able to do that. It's there. Yeah, it's a party trick, but it's not, it's not a backflip.
Right.
Movement patterns. The burpee box jump is 2 different gymnastics movements, even though it's counted as a rep. You're still doing both. Burpee, right? Just to press off the floor. Bounding is part of that. Jumping over the box. Wall balls, a squat and a press overhead. Double unders, bounding, and shoulder fatigue. I brought in your coordination and agility, though.
Gotta have
You
that.
definitely need
That's
that
a crossover for sure.
I put a bit of the agility too, because when I think about agility, I do think about that being dynamic athletic movement. So something like a burpee box jump over, there's an agility component to that. But you can see the spread is starting to take place. I should do I don't want to have too many damn pie charts, but
I thought when you told me you wanted to do this, I thought you would have the pie chart to see if everything was hit.
I just want people to see the things that you look at and why.
Yeah.
Right. Like if every event was just like speed, power, nothing else, you would at least see that there is a bias to that.
Right.
All right. Starting to take shape there. Monostructurally of swimming, double unders, rowing. Not a lot of each one of those, right? 8 minutes on the swim is actually the most monostructural we'll actually see for the weekend. Okay, Bill, I'm too old for this shit. Probably the best name for a Masters competition. For an event. This is the one I didn't think you would get. I need a.
Oh, wait.
What do I need? This is what I need.
Is this? But I can like think. I don't know. Because I can think. Well,
I'm bringing back the Jeff.
Oh, geez. Oh, man.
Music.
You know what's weird is I just was watching Elf the other day, and there's a part in Santa where like they're in the park and the park rangers are coming after him in the New York park, and he's like, "I'm getting too old for it," but I think he says, "I'm too old for this, not this shit."
Yeah,
I can't remember it. I don't know. That's fine.
Lethal Weapon.
Oh wow, yeah.
Danny Glover.
Yep.
All right, we have a heavy complex. 5 deadlifts, 3 hang cleans, 1 shoulder to overhead. The complex must be unbroken. You basically have 6 minutes to get as heavy as you can. Pretty straightforward. Up to this point, okay, sprint with a little row focus, a little sitting modality endurance test, even though it was only 8 minutes. Anybody that did it other than a swimmer probably got a nice endurance hit, even though it wasn't a long duration. We had a descending rep chipper, 7 to 8 minutes, and now we have something heavy. Over the course of 4 events, which there are 8 scored events in total, so far, I would say we're in a decent spot.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen a variance of movements, movement patterns, different skills, different focuses, different linchpins in the particular event. But yeah.
Minus the time frame.
Minus the time frame.
But other than that, like as far as the movements go,
right.
I think that like in the variance in weight that we've had so far, I think we're doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And you're right. It's like, okay, 3-minute sprint, 8-minute swim, 7 to 8 minute. And that's usually the top 10 times that we're looking at that dictate what the time really and we know somebody got capped.
I mean, even if it was 11, even if it was 11, we're still under. We're still doing short.
Yeah. We know now is like, all right, we're good here. But if we want a bit more balance, we know we're missing something on the longer side, and maybe that 12 to 15 minute CrossFit Classic time frame. Okay, Bill. Event number 5 is run Forrest Run.
My name's Forrest Gump.
I was like, this is the easiest one. Even if you've never seen it, that is it. Okay, 4 rounds for time, 10 sandbag squats, say 150 and 100 for the majority of the divisions. 100-meter sandbag carry, all done on the shoulder. Excuse me. And then a 150-meter run on the field. So maybe an over and back on a soccer field. 12-minute time cap. Most of your top times were between 5 to 6 minutes on this one. So this was short, but it was fast. It was intense. The reps and the weight here aren't going to slow anybody down at the top 10. The carry itself, 100 feet over the shoulder, is not nearly as challenging as maybe if it was in the front rack.
Right.
And a bear hug, which if I were to look at this and what we did, I probably would have made that the thing.
100%.
Because on the shoulder is like, that's not slowing anybody down. They may go slower, but it's not a deterrent. Mm-hmm. And then the sprint on the field. Okay, we got another short one. Weightlifting and monostructural the movements. It's a triplet of the 3. The weight is heavy. Thinking about who we're applying this to, right? This is the CrossFit Games. I'd say this is moderate, but this is the Masters Games. Heavy, low volume on the reps. But by itself, other than those critiques, I would maybe throw in an extra round as well. I think with a 12-minute cap and seeing where most people landed, you could have probably afforded that.
Well, so when I looked at this, as far as if I was going to kind of mess with it a little bit, I instead of going an extra round, because I think that would have, I don't think you need to up the running on this. What I would want tested here more would be the sandbag.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would up, and even the sandbag carry. I like what you said about like carrying it in the bear hug. Mm-hmm. So you have to carry it in front, but I would have gone 15 on the sandbag squats to make that side of it count more.
Got it.
I did hear that there were a handful of athletes that if they were smart on the first couple rounds, then like the runs were quick and they could actually speed up on that last round. Like it could actually go on that last round. So some athletes, if they didn't have the squat capacity, that nailed them, or depending where they were having to hold, if they were having to, if they were being forced to move the bag around a little bit because the judge wanted it in a particular place. I think that's one thing. But generally speaking, if we would have made those 15, then all of a sudden now it's like you're getting to the point where, can I do all of them unbroken?
Yes.
And it turns into more of a strength piece, a strength capacity, which I would have rather have had. Yeah.
We had our complex.
Right.
A complex better than a 1 rep max.
Right. But that's going to be more on like the far end of what's your true strength.
Right.
I want a capacity strength.
Yeah. And I like that because as I was looking at more of the later things and we see the overall, what was programmed, I think some type of moderate weight for higher volume was not in play here.
Right.
Short. So 5 events in. Sandbag clean. Sandbag squats. Sorry. And then stamina, strength is part of that. Power. Just being able to crank through those squats was another one of those. But yes, another short one. Sandbags, barbell, both used twice so far. Weightlifting patterns starting to take place. Hinging was definitely a bigger piece of that. Some more effective than others or more prominent than others. Gymnastics pattern, not a whole lot of gymnastics yet. Mm-mm. 5 events in. Mm-mm. All right. Number 6, get to the choppa.
Predator.
Dude, you're crushing it. What do you mean? You're crushing it. Okay, 9-minute AMRAP, 5 bar muscle ups, 10-foot handstand walk, 8 alternating single arm devil press with 50 and 35. Every new round you do, you'll add 10 feet to the handstand walk. This is actually the longest event they have.
Right.
First one was the 3-minute cap. Second one was an 8-minute cap. Third one took 7 to 8 minutes. Fourth one was a 6-minute cap. The last one we just did was a 5 to 6 minute event. This is the longest that people, for the majority, were forced to compete. I say forced, right? 9 minutes. By itself, let's not worry about the other things currently. Bar muscle up in a handstand walk in the devil press, adding a handstand walk distance, not a huge distance, a little distance, 9 minutes. I like this one. Heavy emphasis on the gymnastics. We haven't really had that yet. In fact, I don't think we've had that at all. The only thing we really had was the handstand push-up. And then what else did we have? That was gymnastics.
That was it.
Was that it? Burpee box jump overs.
Well, yeah, but not really.
I know. I was saying
I hear you. I hear
by
you.
definition.
No, I got you.
So finally,
Yeah.
a is in terms of things that have been tested yet, this fits in terms of movements and modalities that need to be at the forefront of the event.
I do like this event. I like the bar muscle ups. I like the fact that you're increasing the handstand walk, so you're putting an emphasis on that. I'm not a fan of the single arm devil. Like, can you just do a regular devil press? Like, do you have to? I don't know why they have to do singles. I don't get that. It's only 8. It's not a big deal. You could have very easily done that with 2 dumbbells to have a little bit of strength in there. But as much as I like this event, I feel like it was almost like we're getting to the point, just like what you said, that all the other events were being designed, and it's like, shit, we need to check the boxes on a lot of them. So you throw it all into one event and go, well, we did do bar muscle ups and we did handstand walking and we did.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's almost what it feels like. I love the event. I actually love, God, this is what we say all the time. I love this event by itself. It's awesome.
I do too.
But was that really what it was to begin with, or was it kind of a dang, we're really short on, so we need to put this in? But I like what it is.
Me too.
I really do like what it is.
Me too. I do as well. And I think the single arms is just keep, like, if you did double dumbbells, this would take the majority of the time. This allows you to go a little faster. I get it. I almost rather it be less weight.
Then make it 5.
Make it
5,
5.
10, 5.
Yeah, 5, 10, 5. That's definitely doable. Or
for 10 minutes.
If you're going to do a single thing, I prefer
10, 5, 10, 5.
Yeah. Like, I don't think we needed a devil press here. I think a dumbbell snatch would have been just fine. Make it 10.
Yeah.
Because we already did burpees.
Right.
We did burpee box jump overs.
You don't need to do, I know.
You don't need to do another burpee off the floor.
That is true.
Make it 10. Make it a dumbbell snatch. Keep it at 50 and 35.
That's fine.
Just let them race. So that's it. I still like it. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Stamina, right? Muscle fatigue for the handstand walk is going to be the biggest one there. Your ability to keep pulling on top of the bar muscle up, right? The bar muscle up pull is more important than the press versus a ring muscle up where it's the opposite. You do need power, especially fatigue on the bar muscle up. You need that power to get above a little bit of the balance on the handstand walk being. I put those as you could probably add a couple in there, but
the coordination or agility for the gymnastics.
Yeah, I thought about it. Coordination probably for the bar muscle up. Yeah. I think balance I had on the handstand walk being.
I can see that. Yeah.
Movement by movement. Yeah, you probably could have put. Like I said, fun discussion topic. It's my first time doing it, guys. I'm getting better. More stuff for you guys to look at. Okay. 6 events down, 2 events to go. It's 2-parter. Now, as we look at this, nobody puts baby in a corner. Bill.
Dirty Dancing.
Look at you. Dude, you were 7 for 8. That's pretty darn good. You thought you were going to do.
I should have got Lethal Weapon too. That one was too general of a statement. So
yeah, it was. What was the one that I didn't think you were going to get? Was that the one? That was my
Yeah.
only one. I was like, that one,
It's just too vague.
it's so general, but
Yeah.
I've seen, like, I really love Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Just as a movie. Like, my dad loves it too. And my mom likes Mel Gibson. Not as much as she likes Harrison Ford. At least during his Star Wars days. And Indiana Jones. All right. 9-minute cap for the two of them, but the individual event is 4 minutes and 4 minutes with a 1 minute break in between. I put 4 and 4. Now it's an ascending rep. So the first AMRAP is 3, 6, 9, 12 of toes to bar, and then you do 6 dumbbell box step overs with 50s and 35s. So we're bringing the dumbbells back. Now with 2, 24 and 20 inches, which is unnecessary. Programmers out there, the men are using a heavier weight. They don't also have to use a higher box. Just keep it at 20 inches. The weight will take care of itself. That's why we say all wall ball shots should be done to a 10-foot target, because you have a lighter ball for the women. You don't need a lighter ball and a lower target. You're making it twice as easy for them to do. So please stop doing that. CrossFit Games quarterfinals. You guys nailed it. That was a huge bright spot last year.
I almost think that was an accident.
Well, a beautiful accident. Someone would say that's how I got here. I know, I was planned, I swear. This part for these divisions, wearing a vest. Okay. You don't need to do that. All right, you already have slower things in here with the higher box and if it's a 4-minute AMRAP, we don't need things in here that are going to slow people down even
Go faster.
more.
You just make them go faster.
It's supposed to be fast. It's 4 minutes for a reason that you need to go fast. Putting a weight vest on people is just going to slow everybody down. And now it's just moving without stopping. The racing is now gone. Now it's just who doesn't stop. And that's different if we're doing Chad versus a 4-minute AMRAP. Mm-hmm. The weight vest is a bad call for something like this, especially your finale when every rep is so important and you want to see people race. Right? If you want to wear a vest, put it somewhere else. Like, I don't know.
There wasn't one place where they needed a vest on this one.
No.
In the entire competition is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't care if the vest is... That's a terrible reason. It's the same reason they used a ruck at the semifinals for 2023.
Yeah.
2023, the first event was all cardio machines and a sled pull. Mm-hmm. The second event was all weightlifting and Linda with dumbbells. The third event was almost all gymnastics of ring muscle ups, pistols, and burpee box jump overs. And they're about to nail the first 3 events akin to the 2018 regionals of just straight monostructural triplet, straight weightlifting, straight gymnastics. And then they slapped a 20-pound backpack on everybody.
Right.
It became a weightlifting event.
Right.
You
don't need to.
You don't need to. This has been fine by itself. All right. Minute rest, and then same format, with chest to bars. Mm-hmm. And they put inches here, but it's a 25-foot double dumbbell walking lunge. So you have box step overs in the first part with toes to bar, walking lunges with chest to bar.
I understand what the intention is. Say they want similar movements, but they want you to be able to go, okay, how do we increase the difficulty or the change it but not change it?
Right.
I understand, but man, just have them with this setup. Just have them do lunges both times.
That,
Because then you can watch the race. That's all I was thinking about that way.
yes.
Or don't worry about making this a two-parter. Or pick one of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you want to split the difference, say, okay, so it's 8 minutes, 4 and 4. Make it, I mean, we don't do any long events in here anyway. So just do 6 minutes and just do, pick one, toes to bar and lunges, or chest to bar and lunges, and just increase by 3 and let them go until they're done.
That, or you could combo them together. Not with the box step ups. We've already gone over a box.
Right.
We don't need to go over a box again. The couple things in here that I, as a personal programmer, wanting people to race and go as hard as they can, interference is good sometimes. Redundancy and movement patterns is good sometimes. Rarely, like JT, 2159, ring dips, push-ups, and handstand push-ups. 3 different modality movement patterns and planes, whatever. But the ascending reps slows people down. When I look at toes to bar, when I look at holding on to dumbbells, when I look at chest to bar pull-ups, and I look at holding on the dumbbells again, all I see is grip fatigue.
Yep.
So now that's going to slow you down even more. And on top of all of these things where this is only grip and you're wearing a weight vest, I feel like we've added every possible element in here to make people not race in a final. Or not just not race or not choose to race, have the inability
Yeah, they just can't.
to even race. It's like, well, I have to race, so I have to go unbroken. But by the time I get to 9,
Right.
I can't hang on to the pull-up bar.
It's not a race anymore. Now it's just a war of attrition. That's all it ends up being. It's not a race, me against you. It's just, I can't hold on, I'm out.
Yes. And so it's not about my fitness level. It's the Ninja Warrior thing I talked about. Was that Monday?
Yeah.
Where I don't like Ninja Warrior because it's just who's the grippiest mountain climber of the group. Just I get it's entertaining, but there's no point where I'm like, at least in High Rocks, something like that, I'm like, oh yeah, we can go do some fitness.
Yeah.
Right. In a workout that is a High Rocks event. But something like that, I'm like, well, I'm not a rock climber, so
I did
doing here?
see, so Eric Miller's one of my athletes. That's Becca Voigt's, Voigt Miller's husband. And I got to watch, she had it on her Instagram. She was shooting it live, and I got to watch the second half of his division, which was the 50 to 54. What was great about that was that race was a good race, and they didn't have the vest on that. There wasn't any reason for them to slow down on the chest to bar and the lunges. Like that was a good race.
Okay.
Because they could race. And you had the athletes that had again, the ones that had the better capacity on the pull-ups did better. The ones that had the grip, I mean, still it's a grip thing. I get it. But that was a good race on its own. But having the other two pieces, again, like it wasn't necessary. And so I don't think it got the desired response out of that. And I didn't look at the score, but for the most part, I think that the athletes that did well on one did well on the other one too, because it's the same event. True.
You're right. You got 100 points for doing the same thing.
So this event, because of the movements and the way it's designed, ends up being more expensive and worth more valuable than the other events.
All right, here's the men. I'll just say top 5.
Okay.
The guy, we'll say in event 7, first, this is not really fair because it's Scott Panchek in the 35 to 39. But the guy got second, got 5th in the other one. The guy got tied for second, got 4th in the other one. The guy that got 4th got 8th in the other one. The guy that got 5th got 8th. Now, some of the ones that did better in the second round, I think, punted the first one. So someone got 11th in 0.7 and second in 0.8. How do you think that happened? Well, they probably sat back and looked at how they could score.
Right.
If I just get like top 5 here, then I'm going to go win the second part.
Right.
So, yes, you were another thing. Or just, like you said, mash them together, but make it dumbbell push presses. Or thrusters. Well, we already did wall ball shots.
Yeah.
Push presses. Opposing movement patterns, and now we can race 3 toes to bar, 3 push press, 3 chest to bar pull-ups, 3 push press, 6, 6.
Yeah.
Now you just now you're going. So, did not like that, especially a finale, because you're not really sure where anybody is and who won, and you can't follow it, and so. All right. I think these are your final. After it's all said and done, time domains, short reigns supreme. Single modality twice, 2 couplets, 3 triplets. So couplets and triplets were there. So when I look at schemes, got a chipper. Arguably, I could have taken this triplet and been a chipper, and you would have 2, 2, and 2, like all down the line. All right.
Yep.
Got some balance there. This balance between movement modalities, monostructural 4, weightlifting 10, gymnastics 7, that's about normal. You'll usually have more weightlifting because there's more options. If you have the same amount of monostructural movements as everything else, you did way too much monostructural stuff, because that usually is a longer endeavor. The weights themselves, right? 3, 2, and 1 between light, moderate, and heavy of the movements that really had some weight to it. Rep volume, low, moderate, high. There's more low because of this. This is the problem. And this is what everybody was talking about that was there and that was watching it, is of the 8 events, you had a sprint, heavy day, check, and then the rest were all short. The longest event they did, not time cap, event they did was 9 minutes, and that 9-minute time frame was broken up into 2 4 minutes. So really 8 minutes was as long as they went. Now, what can contribute to this? Running a Masters event has a lot of people in them, and not just a lot of people, but a lot of divisions. That stuff sucks up your time schedule so much. This is a 4-day competition. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Thursday to Sunday.
Way too many days for.
Well, way too many days to not be able to schedule a long event in there.
Right. So you had 4 days where day 1 could have just been the long day. You're going to do 1 event on day 1. It's what the games do.
Yep.
We're going to do this long hour plus endeavor or whatever, right? 20-minute plus day 1. Get it out of the way. And even that by itself would have totally balanced this out so much more. I would have preferred a couple of 10 to 15ers of movement the entire time, right? But it is a tall task to run an event like this. But if it's 4 days, there's not really a good reason not to have one of those in there. You don't need 10 events.
No.
They're Masters athletes, right? Just pick one of every category. Heavy day, sprint, something between 5 to 10 minutes, something be 10 to 15 minutes, something 20 minutes plus. Maybe make 2, like whatever. You want it 6, 7?
Totally. Well, I mean, do that.
The CrossFit Games.
Well, then you can throw right in the middle then, right after that, because that's what we're supposed to be sitting in anyway, right? So you have your 5 and drop 2 in the middle.
Yes. Judy, he's been helping us the whole way through. This is it. This is the problem. This is what everybody's talking about, and everybody is correct. Okay. Giving you some context of what can lead to something like that, but again, it still doesn't make it okay. Or not make it a balanced overall test.
Right.
Gymnastics movements that were in there: handstand push-ups, burpees, box jump overs, bar muscle-ups, handstand walk toes to bar, chest to bar, 1 row swim, double under, and run, hang power snatch, deadlift, hang power clean, shoulder overhead. This meant sandbag squat, carries. A lot of hinging with the weightlifting movements. snatches, deadlifts, hang power cleans, devil press, step ups and lunges. All do that because everybody leans forward as they stand up. It's just part of the game. But yeah, that's it.
The other thing that I noticed when I was looking at the way that it was designed, time frames, the weights that were used and stuff like that, is it ends up being this event was your power output athletes were going to do well.
Yep.
What was the emphasis on the first event? It was going to be the rowing. Okay, there's your power output there and your size. On the sandbag squats, it wasn't super heavy, but the athletes that were bigger and stronger could actually move that, and they didn't have an issue moving that. They just moved it quickly. On the final, those that had the ability to get up and over those the box and the lunges, again, moving that weight, they are the ones that did really well. I did see. I saw the athletes that I saw that did really well. The gymnastic piece wasn't really an issue. It was how fast could they move over the box, or they having to set it down to rest there on the box or whatever. The lift, obviously, the stronger you are.
Yep.
So I mean, like, there was a lot of that. I know that that's one of the things that just historically Bob has done is he likes. I appreciate the fact that he's not afraid of weight.
No.
I do like that, but I do think that you have to be careful and with the movements that they used. If they would have shuffled some of them around a little bit, it would have blunted some of that pure power output athlete. Like on the one event that was all straight gymnastics, if you would have blended that into like put each of those pieces into 3 other events, then all of a sudden it smooths out what the athlete is that you're picking to win. Because with these particular events, like, I can almost see what athlete should win before they even do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and it's really sad on that last event too, because I know what they were wanting to do.
I know.
I know that they're hearing this stuff, because you can tell they want them to march down to the end to see who the finisher is.
Sure.
They want that. We've talked about how important that is and what that looks like. But again, I think it was for all of the other events that they did that they were really fun and cool.
Yes.
Like that one just was that was a big whoops.
Right. And every once in a while you got a whoops.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
I mean, and to your point about what Bob and Joe like to do with their group is that, I mean, look at these movements that we're talking about on the gymnastics side for a Masters competition. Handstand push-ups, bar muscle-ups, handstand walks. Like, those things used to just be like, oh, you're not allowed to do that.
Right.
Like, that's in there. Right? Hang power snatches, okay, sure. Right? But there's some weight in there. Heavy complex, the sandbag, the squat, as you were saying. Made him swim. Like, there's a lot of great bright spots in here, but we also need to be fair in terms of when we're looking at a bias and a balance. Is that, especially when we're talking about here, right?
And that is immense. Like, that is a big deal. What's crazy is that we're doing this right before we do the 2008 games.
Yeah, true.
Because everything is short. Everything is short, and that is a scheduling or whatever. Like, I get it, but that's a miss. That is a massive miss. And if there was any other event, guaranteed anyone that would be programming the stuff here, they would say the same thing. Like, I'm sure Bob and Joe have looked at other events and been like, wow, they didn't even have this.
Yeah. And Bob and Joe often will sit back and be like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Right. They are decent with constructive feedback.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
And again, I don't know what constraints they had.
Correct.
So it's armchair quarterbacking, but again, 4 days, and there was a lot of time between, and it seems like it could have been managed,
right,
to get something long in there over 4 days.
Yeah,
it really could have.
And what are those constraints? We don't know everything. Could it be like the venue almost only allowed them to do certain things at certain times? But
exactly,
you got 8 events over the course of 4 days. One of them was a 2-parter. 8 minutes. It's like, man, just take 3 of these short ones away and add 1 moderate and 1 long.
Right.
7 events. 7 events is more than enough. This is the Masters. We send people to the CrossFit Games doing 6 over 3 days.
Yep.
We can do the same in 4, even if it's 6, right? So, all right. Bill, thumb tape review.
I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 2. One, like nice job, you guys. Like I appreciate what they did, what Bob and Joe did for them. There were a
Second
lot
event
of
of the year, 3 months apart.
Yeah,
Right.
right. I mean, again, I do think I think that what they do for the Masters is amazing. I think what they did here, they really did try hard. Again, I don't know the time constraints. There were a lot of events that I really liked. You know,
Yes.
some minor changes on some of them. You know, the last event was a big miss. Okay, fine. So if I'm looking at like 5 events, I still really like what they had. It would be like, okay, it just wasn't rounded well enough. So were there great events in there? Totally. Did it get what it needed to be like, hell yeah? No, I can't do that. But I can go,
Right.
okay, guys.
That's fair. Right down the middle.
Right down the middle.
I like hey, all right. What's is that scene in The Rock? Connery's like, okay, what does that mean?
I love that movie.
Is
that was the movie, real fast. That was the movie, talking about that era of movies. That was the movie that made me quit teaching high school and get into fire.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I saw that movie in the theaters. I went to watch it in the movie theater, and I was going to the bathroom afterwards, and I was sitting there thinking, and I'm like, God, you know what? Like with all the coaching that I'm doing and the teaching, I just can't see myself doing this for the next 30, 40 years. And I was lifeguarding in the summertime.
Right.
So I was teaching in Arizona to come back to California and lifeguard.
Oh.
And I'm like, you know what? I gotta do this fire thing. And that was like, I remember that time poignantly.
That's cool.
Crazy, huh?
Very cool. What is
There's a lot of good phrases from that movie too.
That's a very quotable movie.
Yeah.
Very quotable movie. I think I posted one of those the other day, oddly enough.
Really?
Yeah. It was the one where
your best.
Yes. Yes.
Only losers say do your best.
Yes.
Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Prom queen. I was like, that is an all-timer. All-timer. But then like it got cut off, and then Nicolas Cage was like, you know, she was the prom queen.
Was the prom queen.
I was like, oh! What a great comeback. I'm in the same boat as well. I would have really preferred a bit more of a balance. Going up to 5 events, I was on board. And then the last 2, 3.
Right.
The final, just a total, like totally throw that one out, which was a big knock. The other knock being everything was short. Within those shorts, like there was still enough variance of movement patterns, but it was still some of the same thing. Oh, Carla was the prom queen. Thank you, Corey. That's the greatest contribution to the show today. I'm just kidding. Yeah, a thumbs up. Because at the end of the day, is like if no one's really, I think if this was the games, I would give it more critique.
Well, yeah, because it's what are you trying to do?
Right. Yeah.
What's the why here?
On a fun event that everybody's happy to be there, people may be like, oh, I wish it was more balanced. I probably would have done better. But at the end of the day, like this, there's not a whole bunch on the line other than just like ego.
Right.
Right. This isn't like a stamp on the resume. Like if this was the CrossFit Games and I was, you know, the fittest person there, but I need that longer one because I'm better than everybody at that, but I only got the short one. So then I missed out on first place or third. Then I'd be like, hey, this is unacceptable in this setting because you were trying to find the fittest person. So based off what the event is, what they did, what it was about, I was like, all right, guys, you know, I would come back and do this. I would be like, hey, it'd be nice to be, hey, next time, please.
Right.
Balance that out a little bit. But yeah, at the end of the day, it costs a lot to get out there, but still it's like, did anybody go there and feel like they got cheated out of something? because of the programming. Denise, I put on well, if you won, I'd put on my resume too. So, but yeah. All right. That's it. Friday, Peace Corps in the 2008 CrossFit Games. I saw Tyler was in here just a little bit ago. Show up for that one.
I can't wait to see that.
It's going to be great. I can't wait to see him send me the women's. But you get to be surprised with everybody else.
Totally. Like I'm very interested to see what it's going to look like.
So Friday, 12:30 Central, 10:30 for Bill Snobby Pacific time. Thank you guys for joining us. Congrats on everybody that competed at the Legends. Thank you, Legends, for putting on events like this for our Masters community. And with the Open around the corner, maybe you guys got some good fitness feedback at Legends that you can bring in February. See you guys Friday.